What's up, YouTube? So I got asked, was Diana Ross's Diana album, the one she did with Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards, the one that secured her solo legacy? Was it the one? I'd say yeah. After coming off the Boss album when she worked with Ashford and Simpson, I'd say yeah. Now all the craziness about her remixing the album, and which actually did work because she moved the guitar and the drum kit, and I think it worked on the record. Actually, it worked because it didn't sound like a Chic record. She really had an ear. When people always talk about producers and you're just a singer and you don't know, no, what she actually did by mixing it, she kept it from sounding like a Chic production, and she actually was able to punch in her vocals in it, and it balanced out the grooves. So actually, it was a smart move on her part. You'd be upset and frustrated at the time. It's not the first time artists have remixed people's records. Sometimes they don't get properly credit, because I heard a story about Maurice White and Barbara Streisand. He wasn't too happy about it, but this one, the mix worked out really well because she brought the bass inward, the drums, and she used her voice to double behind it, so it caught the bass and it caught the drums. It caught the beat perfectly. Because a lot of times when you hear Chic Productions, the Edwards and Rogers and Edwards production stuff, the female voice is like riding on those bells and whistles and doom, doom, doom. But she had it where her voice was able to be outwardly, and then the music came in there. So it was a good, smart, strategic move. But the songs speak for themselves. I mean, I'm Coming Out was a huge song, which was the horns were as effective. It was used well. Upside Down, the twisted sounds, and in My Old Piano. It was done very well. Um, I wouldn't call her an album-oriented artist. She's one of the best singles artists ever. You know, her singles, because their albums are kind of, sometimes they be cringy, corny, and some of the stuff because on the material. But for her styling and what she gets out from totality, this got to be her most iconic album. That's the reason why it's her best-selling record, because it hit like that. It had the right balance of groove, right balance of sound. So she was able to, and it says a lot about her because the debut in the 60s and hit in 1980 at that time, which is almost 20 years later with your career, and a hit like that, that was a statement record. So it was definitely, and it was catchy, production and everything like that. So, um, could have been, and it would have been interesting too, because if she had never did a record after Lady Sings the Blues, which was with the soundtrack in the movie, that was huge too. But the Diana Ross Diana album, I think it did secure her solo career legacy. After that, she did have some hits. She had a cover of Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, Why Do Fools Fall in Love, and Mirror Mirror, which was, they were big songs, and then Muscles, which Michael Jackson wrote and produced for her. Swept Away, I think she did one with Hall and Oates, and then she had Missing You, Lionel Richie wrote and produced. Those were like her last hits, and so she had probably about a handful of songs that still kicked after. But as far as an album goes, that was definitely the one that secured her solo career legacy, and those songs still hold up. And that was prime peak. That was the end of, pretty much the end of the peak right there, as far as like the prime and the peak of her as a songstress, but she still had, did things. So that's a good question, because if that album is still, it still hits to this day. People definitely bumped them songs a lot. She got much play back then. It had been sampled and looped like crazy. Anyway, let me know what you think. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like, and hit that membership. Because when you do requests like this come true, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. On my peace.